My name is Jill Boone. I'm the Director of Talent Development for Enterprise Holdings, which is Enterprise Rent-A-Car, National Car Rental, Alamo Rent-A-Car, Enterprise Car Club, Enterprise Flexi Rent. Has anyone rented from us? Thank you. You contributed to my profit sharing. I appreciate that. I have been with Enterprise for 28 years, and I am hoping in the next 30 minutes that you'll take at least one nugget away from what we're going to talk about. What I'd like to do, if you'll allow me, is share a couple minutes just of information about the company, only so that you can see the context in how I share some of the things I share, if that will be okay. This is not a sales pitch, I promise. So we have been around since 1957, so over 60-year company. So the culture has been the same throughout those 60 years, so it's built, so hopefully it can say it's been successful. We are still a private, family-owned company. The Taylor family still owns, so we don't have stockholders that we have to answer to, which means we can reinvest a lot in the company and a lot in our employees, which I will share an example of. 80,000 employees worldwide, and we have a promote from within culture. So whether I get to support UK, Ireland, France, Spain, and Germany, and whether it's in any of those countries or in North America, our promote from within culture is the same. It's been fun. I've been over here 4 years and actually helping build France and Spain, which we integrated two companies, so it's been fun to build that culture. And the last part, to be the best and most trusted provider in the mobility space is our goal. Our CEO is Chrissy Taylor, so third generation of the Taylor family. And that piece is up there to tell you that it's the way we run the business and it's how we develop our employees. That's what we're going for. So those are the pieces. Okay, so in the description, if you read it, there were 3 bullets of pieces that I wanted to cover. Did anybody read it? True confessions. Okay, no. Like, you just all come down here expecting coffee. Yeah, okay. Well, I want to ask you, I am not a fan of just talking for 30 minutes. That would be boring. So I'm going to ask you some questions because Jason said I can do Q&A at the end, but I'm going to do Q&A now. So can I ask all of you, when you hire people into your organization, let's say in a manager capacity, or maybe you bring them up with internally and you're going to promote, how many of you use a leadership competency as part of the interview process? Do I have some? So a few. Okay, so half, maybe less than half. Okay. What about entry level? When you bring people into your organization, entry level, how many of you use a leadership competency? Okay, just a few of you. Okay. And last question for this section. How many of you have leadership, and it might not be the word leadership, but it's facets of leadership on your, how many of you still do annual performance reviews? Do we all do that still? Most of you don't. Good. I want to talk to you then because I'm trying to find a way to get at this. But annual performance reviews, how many of you have a leadership competency or pieces of leadership on there that you're evaluating people on? So a lot of you. Okay. So you're going to relate to some of the things that I mentioned. So we, as a promote from within culture, as I mentioned, we develop our leaders internally. So I can tell you out of the 80,000 employees today, we already have our senior leaders hired. They're working their way up through the organization. So most people come in to our management training program, and then we teach them everything, and then they're now senior vice president someday. And we do it from, entry level, leadership is one of our competencies we hire people on, all the way to the other end of our founding values and our cultural compass, which are basically our guiding principles of how we run the organization. So it's throughout the entire organization. Performance reviews, we do, and that's not just for managers. So when you become a manager of people, we do have leadership competencies. There are 8 that from the first level of manager all the way up are evaluated on, and I'll try and remember most of them, but it's things like deliver on promises, develop talent, operate your business through ethics, and there's 5 more. And even our management trainees are evaluated on some leadership competencies as well on their annual review. So it's there. And then the other piece I wanted to share with you, as part of our core business measurement areas, we have 4. Employee development is one of them. So along with growth and customer service and making money, Employee development is equal to those. So we talk about running a balanced business. So while Steve could be making lots of money at his location, if customer service or growth or his employee development is down, he will not be ranked, because we rank, probably your organizations, we rank everything. We have rankings and things like that. He won't be at the top of that. Just like during interview processes, you will be asked, so Steve, tell me who you've developed. Who have you mentored? Tell me how you did that. And if Steve just says, you know what, I came to work every day and I worked really hard, and I love what I do, and we'll go, that is wonderful, Steve. Tell me who you've developed. Because if he's not developing talent, where does our company go? From a promote from within, we have to continue to develop. So it's from the beginning, from your interview, all the way to the end. All right. If any of you have any questions, please stop me at any point. But yes.
Presumably that model's working in an environment where the organization or the group is growing quite fast.
Yes. Well, minus the last 18 months, but yes.
I say that because some of us might be in environments that aren't growing.
Okay.
And therefore, develop future leaders has come under question in the last 2 or 3 years, because with gender pay gap and ethnicity pay gap, it turns out that some of us are having to say, we're going to have to go out and get leaders in. It's going to take far too long to change otherwise. But that's the only minor thing that I thought from what you said.
Interesting.
You know, because like in London School of Economics, it would take over 10 years.
To build from within.
Yeah, which is how it's done traditionally in
Okay.
academia.
Okay.
We're having to say, no, we'll have to go out, we'll have to change the model, because it won't be acceptable to students in the future to not see
Okay.
a more balanced senior workforce.
Interesting. And again, companies have to do what they need to do. And I would say in our organization, we feel sometimes it takes longer to teach our culture than it does to go hire someone. Because I can teach, I'll pick on Dave now, I can teach Dave through our culture leadership and management skills and interviewing and all those things they have to do. But it's also like, let me teach you the enterprise way. Takes a little hard. We have just found over the course of time. Because we have occasionally, and we still do, bring in an expert from outside. We just hired a VP of marketing communications person because we didn't have someone internally. So it does happen. So fair enough. Okay. So I guess that's my limited thing, though. It is ingrained in everything we do, and I'll show you in the next bullet some things that we do specifically about that. Okay, so the second bullet was create leadership development programs. And I put programs in quotations because, again, I want to share a couple nuggets maybe outside of a traditional training piece. So we hire people into the management training program using leadership competency. And in the first couple weeks, they could be a captain, which is a leadership role. So you might be the captain of maintenance. You are the captain of office cleanliness. You are the captain of callbacks. So early on, they are given a leadership responsibility are all of you familiar with project-based learning? So project-based is it's finding possibly a way to improve your business. So analyze what's going on, figure out what you might have to do, get people on your side, get consensus, get input, deliver the plan, follow it up. There are so many skills you can use in a project-based initiative. And so it's kind of like that. So we want you to be the leader of maintenance, so you're in charge of it. You figure out what we need to do better, find a way to do it, talk to everybody, and do that. So captaincy is one. Also, let me get some names here. If Haley started October 1st in our location, and Sharad started yesterday, I can absolutely tell you we would ask Haley to be a buddy to Sharad, because she's gone through what he is going to do for the next 2 weeks. She's already done it, so she's 2 weeks ahead. So you are a buddy to him. Now, we have mentor programs, but your mentor is a couple layers up and not in your location. So we would want a buddy that can be there and go, oh, let me show you how to do this. Oh, I know, I had the same problem. I keep doing that. I had the same problem. Let me tell you what I did. So again, another leadership opportunity. So we empower employees right from the beginning. So it's expected. It's part of what they do. We do have leadership development centers, which, I'll be honest with you, a little bit of hiatus because of we've done all training virtually for 19 months. But it used to be a day and a half. And what it is, think of it as a self-reflection day, a thinking about what that next position is, more in depth. So our first management position of people is called assistant branch manager. And you would be working with one in your location, so you have one. But really, do you know what they do? Like people go, I want to be a manager. Great. Do you really understand what they do? So there are presentation skills. So we would say you're going to come in for this day, and you have to make a presentation on what you believe the assistant manager role is. What challenges will you face? What skills do you think are important? And they can interview anybody they want to, but the first thing they do in the day is make a presentation on that. And the other thing about these days is it'd be 2 layers higher, area managers we call them, are in the whole day as the observers and coaches. So they listen. And I might say, this is what I think an assistant manager does, great. There are some problem-solving exercises. There is a customer service exercise. There is a team meeting. You have to lead a team meeting. So real practical things they have to do. Yes, sir?
Sorry, just a quick question on that. Are they self-referred or are they manager-referred?
Oh, great. It's kind of based on, so our management training program is your management trainee, your management assistant, assistant manager, branch manager. It's a very laid out path. So these people, that is their next role, typically. So what we do is someone who is, and each group would be different, but probably 6 months in to 9, 10 months into that second role before they've become an assistant manager. So they don't have to come, but they want to. And again, maybe that's part of our culture because it's so good to really, not only do they talk about what an assistant manager does, we have a couple newer assistant managers who just were promoted come in and spend lunch with them so they can do, okay, what's it really like? What did you that kind of real conversation piece. And so a whole day of events. There's things inside the classroom, if you will, because they're doing these activities one-on-one with these coaches in separate rooms, leading a meeting or those kinds of things. And then what happens the second day is the coaches, all it is you get feedback. So how you have been, tried, you're going to have, I might be the coach that delivers the information, but I've talked to all the other coaches and say, wow, you were great in your team meeting, you organized, you did this customer service, and it's a reflection. So what the goal is that they leave there is better understanding their next role, have some things that maybe they need to work on to put themselves in the place for when they next interview, and to be very honest, I don't know what you would call it. It is a sometimes Rob may go, you know what? I don't want to be an assistant manager, quite honestly. I now know what the role really is about. I don't know. And luckily, that's okay. We have a lot of lattice positions they can move to because not everybody wants to be in management, and that's fine. But at least they find out now before we promote right into an assistant manager, and he goes, this is not for me. I don't want to do this. We know ahead of time. So that is what Leadership Development Centers. So question now back to you. How many of you have, I'm going to say, a leadership course or series of courses in leadership? Do you have programs? So several of you have that. Great. Okay. And we have, once they're an assistant, let me ask this question to you because I'm always curious. Do you put, I know we use the term high potentials, hypos. Do they go through that program? Does every employee go through the program? Do they go through it once they are in management of people? What do you all do? Yeah.
We're identifying talent to go through the leadership program, so
okay.
Talent management program.
Okay.
But it's still at very early stages.
Okay. It's ever evolving, always. Others?
We have loads of different Ministry of Justice, so we have a lot of different programs depending on where you are and
Okay.
what you're trying to do.
And I'll ask what you asked me. Is it a choice for somebody to go through it, or do we kind of go, David, we've identified you, and we want you to be, how does that work?
It's generally a choice because we talk a lot about talent management and don't really do it very well.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. All right. So our philosophy is once you're in the role of managing people, we have a series of management skills. Leadership is one of them. The next role up when you'd be managing the assistant manager and others, again, we have a leadership module and the next layer up. So there's leadership components all the way up, there's lots of leadership programs out there. The piece I want to, and why I said redefined, what else? So they've gone through the program, they've done pre-work, they've done post-work, those kinds of things. What else do you do outside of the job as far as developing leadership? Yeah.
We have a coaching program, so
Coaching program?
coaches working that you can work with one-to-one.
Oh, perfect. So within the organization, they can get a coach. Okay, good. Any other? Okay, so what we offer to employees is internal opportunities to be a leader and external. So internal would be, you could be the leader of an initiative to get more women in management, something for LGBTQ, something for disabilities, whether visible or non-visible. We have committees. We have charitable work. You can be on the charity committee. We have wellness. It's kind of, you do your day job. Now, what are the other things that would help you build leadership skills? So we have lots of internal opportunities. And yes, we don't require anybody. But I know I mentor people, and I would say, you know what, you might want to do this, Steve, because you'll get to meet Sharad, because he's on the committee too, and he might help you future. And so we encourage that, as well as external. So we have lots of opportunities externally. We would encourage you to be on a board somewhere, volunteer. I'm an enterprise advisor, not my enterprise, but that's the name of the role. Enterprise advisor, I work with a school. I'm assigned to a school in Staines to help them with their career strategy. So I can bring colleagues in, and we can go in classes. Foreign language, I brought some colleagues that speak multiple languages to talk to the students about why foreign language could help you in a career and things like that. So a volunteer thing. And because of that, we also have Enterprise Foundation is our charitable arm. So it would do, from the company standpoint, they might donate money to, actually, the German floods that happened not too long ago. We donated to the German Red Cross. That's a company thing. But a lot of the Enterprise Foundation money is what our employees are passionate about. So if you have a passion for, and I think they were mentioning them earlier in the session in the panel, of different things that you could volunteer for, I can apply for a grant, and the Enterprise Foundation would support it. But the thing that I love about it is it's not just, here's a check from Enterprise Holdings. The application to fill it out, you have to be involved. You have to give your time to that. When I was in Missouri at our corporate headquarters in the States, I was a board member for an inner city school, disadvantaged youth, and so I was able to get a grant, and we started a computer lab for them because I spent my time, lots of time, and then the company supported that. So we want you to be involved in the community and things like that, and we support that. And then the last thing, real high-level senior leadership program is something for our most senior leaders. It is in conjunction with Washington University, which is a university in St. Louis. There's some Harvard professors that speak on things. It was 3 sessions. And, again, I could say training class, role plays, practices. But the thing I really want to mention about it is every session, so there was probably 10 to 15 people, and it's been running 5 to 7 years, the CEO, the COO, and then the head of our rental division sit through the entire length of all 3 days, or all be 6 days over the 3, are there the entire time. Because these are the leaders that have been built through our culture, and that, the family philosophy and culture, it's there. So that's how important it is, which is why I mentioned the family-owned, they're there the whole time. Okay? All right, so there's lots of training programs for leadership. I just think again, we talk about the balanced individual and a balanced business. We want you to do those other things outside. So, measuring success. Okay, how do you measure your success of your leaders? This is my question to you. I'm not going on until you give me an answer. How do you measure your leaders? Yeah.
Results they deliver.
So business results. Okay? And based on that, what's the assumption? Like, why do you measure the results of, I'm going to measure Henry's?
Yeah.
So he's the leader. I'm going to measure his results. How do I know it was Henry that did that?
I guess, does it matter whether Henry did it or not? If he's got his team to do it or he's facilitated others to do it, he's still showing his leadership.
Good. I like it. So results are definitely one. What else would you measure, or some of you I know do, to know that he is supporting his team and things like that. Yeah.
Team's performance, so their performance reviews and performance scores.
Okay, absolutely. Performance reviews of everyone. Good. Any other? I know if we all had this answered, we'd be great. So here's a couple things, and I like that you said that. So development promotion of teams. So because we are a promote from within culture, and I'll use this example I used to use when I was in Chicago. I'm coming back to Henry now. So I am Henry's manager. And he comes in, works a couple days, and he says, Jill, I want your job one day. In some companies, that could be taken as a threatening statement. In our organization, if he doesn't tell me that, our culture won't continue. I want Henry to want my job. In fact, right now, my real job, I have 3 people in mind when I get promoted who can take my place. And I'm already doing things to check if they want the job and if I can develop them and get them involved in country projects, not just their local ones, but get them more involved, get them exposure, because I want to do that. So I like, and I've had people tell me that I want your job. I'm like, good, because I don't plan to do it forever. I want you to have it. Let's figure out what we need to do to get you ready for that. And in interviews, we would ask, like I did up here with Steve, so tell me who you've developed and who have you mentored? And so much so, the other part of it is when we have a promotion, okay, so who wants to be promoted? Nobody wants to be promoted. Thank you. All right, I need to see a name. Mark, okay. So a promotion message would come out. It would say, Mark has been promoted to this wonderful position. A little bit about Mark, but in every one of our promotion messages, it would say, Mark has developed 3 people to go on to level 2 positions, 5 to go on to senior managers kind of thing. A little bit more about what he's going to do. And then the second to last paragraph in every promotion message says, Mark would like to thank Jill, Sherrod, Dave, Steve, and Henry for their role in his development or his mentoring. So everyone sees, well, if you read the whole email, we know people don't read the whole email, but if you read the whole email, it's in every one. So people see to encourage the development of talent. If you're not developing the talent you have, our company will stop. It can't grow if we don't have enough. And to be honest with you, a couple of our countries right now are trying to grow. We slowed down hiring. I'm sure a lot of you did over the course. Okay, we can't open new locations without management. So now we're trying to get people ready to do that. So it's public. The extras are those things like I've been on 3 boards. I've volunteered at this organization. I've led the charity committee. I've done these things outside of my day job. So I do accounting in my day job. Here are the things I've done to network with people, to build community among employees. Engagement surveys, do you do engagement? Okay, we have partnered with Gallup. Just actually last year, we had employee opinion surveys up to that time, and we've always had them since I've been here. But last year, we partnered with Gallup, so we used the Q12, but we add leadership questions and diversity, equity, and inclusion questions on our engagement survey. So we did it last August. Actually, we're in the middle of the second one now. It's through October to get feedback. So again, I'm going back to Henry's results, that you're going to promote him because of his results. We would also you can look at engagement results and see that, wow, Henry's employees think he's fab. Good job. I would high five you, but we can't do that. Yeah. So we can look at things like that. Performance reviews we talked about, that's on there. And the Jack Taylor Founding Values Award Jack Taylor was our founder. And as I said, his 3rd generation, Chrissy, his granddaughter, is now running the organization. The Jack Taylor Founding Values Award is the most coveted award in the company. Every group has to apply for it. And it's around our cultural compass points. So it's the things like diversity, equity, and inclusion, workplace quality, compliance and ethics, sustainability and environmental health and safety. And there's some more? There's some more. Oh, I knew I was going to come here and forget the other one. There's something else. But it's how we run our business. And so you have to supply. Here's what I did for, community relations or community in your community. So you have to so it's very easy for our most senior leaders to look and go, Sherrod, a little light here on the workplace quality. What are you doing for your employees and kinds of things? So that's the most coveted award that people want. Yes. Go ahead.
So you never spoke about business performance and measuring your leaders.
Oh.
Are they agnostic? Are you keeping it agnostic of the business performance, or do you have a base benchmark saying that you have to have this and then only?
It's a great question about business performance. So business performance would get you to, like, you have to be performing. Customer service is the, if I could say jacks are better for any gamblers in here. If you don't have if you haven't taken care of customers, you're not even going to be able to interview. So that's the first and foremost. But then we have a matrix that's a ranking. And so, again, balance, those four business management areas. So that gets you to the table. A perfect example, we have an opening in one of our it's actually a consultant for franchises. There are 11 candidates from worldwide. But they all have to get support from their manager, meaning business results. And now they're going to come. And the thing is, from right now, in my mind, they're all equal because they've all had to perform. Now we're going to talk about how do you go about doing that, and the fact that franchises don't report to us. It's all persuasion and influence. It's not about, these are business leaders that have been in business much longer than probably whoever's going to take this position. So yes, so thank you.
I was just looking at your list and I was just thinking, is some of the indices there telling you the strength of leadership, say?
Okay.
And are some of the indices there telling you the actual performance of an individual? So in other words, you've got engagement and pulse surveys. I mean, in our environment, we wouldn't imply to staff that we're doing a sort of a survey in order to identify the performance of an individual. We'll probably do 360-degree, but certainly surveys would give us an indication of leadership issues in certain parts of the organisation.
Yes.
So that's just one example.
So you're absolutely right. And that's why I was kind of, when I was joking back with the business results, I don't think that I can't measure you, Sharad, on one thing. I can't look at one thing and go, wow, you're a great leader. I think it's that multifaceted approach. So I think it's a combination because there may be, I hope not, but there may be some managers, I'm not going to call them leaders, managers out there that aren't managing the way someone like me in L&D would like, but they're getting results, but it's for the wrong reasons. So if I see, wow, you've got great results, but I look at all these other things, but that's interesting. Employees don't like working for you. I've got these other things, then I get the whole picture of Sharad, not just one number.
Can I paraphrase this question?
Of course. Because I didn't answer it?
No, probably I'm confused over here.
Okay.
I'm just trying to state, when you do surveys, it's a group you're surveying, and you're not saying, it's a survey for the organization or unit probably.
Yes.
But that will not tell you a performance of a particular leader over there.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
So the question is that how do you bifurcate surveys from individual performances or individual evaluation? Because the unit is doing badly.
Okay.
Can be a reason. Then are all the managers bad over there? How do you distinguish that problem?
Okay, fair enough. So remember, you would still have your performance review, which is going to evaluate you. I think it's more, and if I was to talk to you in my one-on-ones with you monthly, I would have as a manager, I would be encouraging you to do the things like, how are your one-on-ones going with your employees? Well, it's been too busy. We haven't done any. How's that working for you? Have you checked in with Steve lately? Because I've been visiting your branch and he doesn't look very happy. See, look, he's not very happy. No. So I would check with you. Have you done? What's that? No, stop that. That's not it. But so I think it's both. Let me use the engagement survey as just a window in. It's one window in just to see. It's not the end all be all. And we certainly, when we have employees take it, it's more about. We've changed our benefits because of that. We've changed. I'm sure I know on the Pulse survey they asked them the hybrid working. Do you want to come back in the office kinds of questions too. So it's helping us with a lot more information. But I can tell you from last August when we got the results, our individual groups, like around the world basically, looked at where people said, there's a question on there, I have a best friend at work, which everybody misunderstands, but that's okay. So we try to do marketing, but it's basically, do you have somebody at work that you can trust? Do you talk to them? And if that's low, we need to figure out, okay, why? And we'll have employee groups to go, what do you think? Or there's one about I have the materials and process to do my job, or I have the materials. Okay, that helped us know what they were thinking, and some of that was because we need you at our IT wasn't all there at the time our survey happened. So it's like, okay, we expected that, so we've made improvements in that. So the survey probably is for more larger initiatives, but it sure does let you know, wow, our revenue management entity is not overall engaged. So that tells me something's going on there. Is that okay? So I guess I'd leave you with some things that we try. I would say I put this up, but we try to model it from our hiring. You're going to be hired using a leadership competency all the way up to the way we reward performance, which is the Jack Taylor Founding Values Award. We expect it. So in the first week, you're a maintenance captain or you're a callback captain. You have a role. You have a leadership role. And it's funny to watch. I mean, and they're so proud, even though they're still management trainee, but when they come, they used to come back to training and go, Jill, guess what? I am the maintenance captain. I'm like, oh, that is huge. Oh my gosh. And they're so proud of it, and they're going to make it better. But it happens all the time. We expect you to be a buddy. I would say we expect you to mentor people. We encourage all employees to find a mentor. We talk about it a lot. Have you found somebody? We're actually doing one now. I have a group it's for entry-level positions in our headquarters, European headquarters. It's a volunteer, and our first session actually is next Monday on personal brand, informal mentoring, and network. That we want to tell these new employees, please reach out. There is no one in my organization, if you reached out to them and said, can I talk to you about some things? Would you be a mentor to me? Nobody in our organization is going to say, no, I'm not. They would all say, absolutely, absolutely. So we want that culture because, and you'll see it on promotion announcements, because David has helped me, I'm going to pass that on, okay? And I'm going to do that. We live it, so we've got the committees, we've got the charitable organizations, the foundation, and then recognize and reward it from our promotion messages to the Jack Taylor Founding Values Award. So it's things, and I guess the nuggets I'd leave you with, it's things outside of training. It's a balanced individual, and our senior leaders, we're all a management trainee one day. So they've worked up so they know exactly what everyone underneath them is going through, and then they can provide that leadership and mentoring.